This is a third stimulus check update. The IRS warns of more delays coming in regards to stimulus. I'll give you the latest update in regards to SSI, SSDI receiving stimulus checks on the Direct Express card. One GOP senator blocks the bill to prevent private debt collectors from seizing stimulus checks. President Biden cancels $1 billion in student loan debt. I'll give you the details on all that, plus some other important updates. Then I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you appreciate these fact-based, fast-paced updates, then hit the like button down below. So, according to Dr. Fauci, the CDC will likely change school distancing guidelines from 6 feet down to 3 feet. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Is this a good thing or bad thing? Schools will start to reopen and they will have less restrictions now. I'm really curious about your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below. Let's talk about the stimulus checks being seized from private debt collectors. So yesterday there was a vote in the Senate and a GOP senator blocked the bill to prevent private debt collectors from seizing stimulus checks. That one GOP senator was Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania. So basically, the way this is going down is with the second stimulus check, they were able to put the language in place so that it was protected from private debt collectors. Now, because this past stimulus package that just passed last week passed through reconciliation, they couldn't put the proper language in to protect it from private debt collectors. So Senator Ron Wyden and Sherrod Brown attempted to pass a standalone bill to protect the stimulus checks from private debt collectors, and they needed to do it through an up or down vote, which is essentially having a vote before the vote, and it needed to be unanimous, but one senator, Pat Toomey, voted against it, and I think it was kind of out of spite. So this is what Pat Toomey said. It was going to be strictly Democrats using the reconciliation process, and that is the only reason that this provision couldn't be addressed, because it can't be dealt with under the reconciliation rules. So to me, it sounds like it was out of spite. He didn't really give good reasoning behind it, especially since all of his other Republican senator colleagues voted for this, or voted to not be seized. He's the only one who voted for the stimulus checks to be seized. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. People under debt collection are under enough stress already, and to prevent them from getting a $1,400 stimulus check, I think was wrong. I think that this should have passed, but let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Next, let's talk about Social Security recipients, SSI, SSDI, receiving the third stimulus check and what's going on with that Direct Express card. So before I get into that, it's important to know what the IRS just said in regards to who got the stimulus checks first. So the IRS put out a news release 2 days ago talking about how they dispersed 90 million stimulus checks from the American Rescue Plan. So this was the third stimulus checks, and payments processed as early as Friday, March 12th. And that they said that the first batch of payments primarily went to eligible taxpayers who provided direct deposit information on their 2019 or 2020 tax returns. So what this means is a lot of people who didn't file any tax returns probably didn't receive their stimulus checks during this big wave of 90 million checks going out on March 17th. Now, it also says that in total, the first batch included approximately 90 million payments, which valued up to $242 billion in stimulus checks, which is more than half of the $411 billion that's for stimulus checks. The majority of payments were delivered by direct deposit, and that which reach individual taxpayers more quickly than paper checks, and that the Treasury mailed roughly 150,000 checks worth approximately $442 million. So what this is saying is that 150,000 paper checks were mailed out this week, probably going to be getting into mailbox 2 to 4 weeks. IRS didn't say that, but hopefully by April, people could start to receive their paper checks. Let me know down in the comments below, have you received any info through the Get My Payment tool about paper checks yet? Really curious about that. The IRS also said that more than 35 million people have received their stimulus payment through the Get My Payment tool. So 35 million people, that's a lot of people who got information, but still, if you compare it to the hundreds of millions of people checking the Get My Payment tool, not that many people. So So it's still a smaller percentage, which means that if you have been checking the Get My Payment tool, receiving payment status not available, you are actually among the majority of people getting information that way. So, and also 35 million people compared to the 90 million people who received it, still a smaller percentage. So let's talk about people on Direct Express, or people who have the Direct Express card, receiving stimulus checks. So that is people SSI, SSDI, and what's going on with that. Because I have received comments of people who were on SSI, SSDI. They did receive their stimulus checks, and according to the comments, but it's probably because they filed tax returns and the IRS had their direct deposit information. So what it's saying here, according to Direct Express, while we do not have specific information on timing, most people will receive their stimulus payments within the next few weeks, which doesn't really help out a lot in terms of information. And it seems that people on SSI, SSDI got screwed again, just like with the first and second stimulus checks. So what they're saying is that the U.S. Bureau of Fiscal Service explains that federal benefit payments such as Social Security, SSI, and veterans are required to receive your payment electronically. You must either have the money deposited directly to your bank or credit union account, or get your money each time on a Direct Express prepaid debit card. So what it's saying is that people who receive money on their Direct Express card are most likely going to get the stimulus check the same time that they get their monthly benefits. Let me know down in the comments below, when do you usually get your monthly benefits? And that date might align when you get the stimulus check money. Let me know down in the comments below. The IRS is also warning of more delays that could happen with the Child Poverty Initiative. So this is in reference to the child tax credit that's going to give $3,000 or $3,600, which is going to be paid on a monthly basis of $250 a month or $300 a month if you have any kids. So it's basically Charles Reddick, who is the IRS commissioner. He raised the possibility that the IRS may not have the personnel to set up an online portal for the new program, and that it may not happen by July 1st. So he's saying this 4 months, in about 3.5 months in advance, saying that it may not happen on time. So let's expect delays with that. Now, in terms of TurboTax said that the IRS has the correct account information for stimulus checks and doesn't expect another issue. They said this on March 15th, 2 days before the official payment date. But this article just came out saying that TurboTax and H&R Block customers are suffering stimulus check glitch again. So this happened with the first two stimulus checks. People who filed their taxes with a tax preparer company like TurboTax, H&R Block, and that the money was going into temporary accounts and then going back to the IRS, which caused people delays of weeks before they actually got their stimulus check. Now, they said that they corrected it this time around, and that for the most part, the problems are not widespread, but people are still reporting that their stimulus checks are going to these temporary bank accounts and that they're actually not receiving them. Let me know down in the comments below, have you done your taxes through TurboTax, H&R Block, or any of these other tax prep companies, and have you received your stimulus check yet, or any information on that? Let me know down in the comments below. President Biden canceled $1 billion of student loan debt. Now, this isn't regards to what we've been hearing lately in regards to the stimulus, in regards to the student loan debt. So basically, the U.S. Department of Education will enact student loan cancellation for 72,000 student loan borrowers who previously had some student loans canceled, but now will get the full student loan cancellation. So this is in regards to people who cancel student loan debts in cases of fraud or school closure that was used in the Trump administration, which often created partial student loan forgiveness, which was unfair to student loan borrowers. So this isn't just anyone who has student loan debt. This is in regards to fraud and school closure, and it's only for 72,000 student loan borrowers. Now, in regards to the other student loan cancellation, where it's going to go to, where the $50,000 in student loan debt or $10,000 in student loan debt, that still hasn't happened yet. Chuck Schumer is the one who's pushing for the $50,000 in student loan debt. Meanwhile, President Biden wants to have $10,000 in student loan debt. Chuck Schumer tweeted yesterday saying President Biden can cancel student loan debt and help close the racial wealth gap. So we still haven't heard anything yet from student loan debt, even though it was a big promise on President Biden's campaign trail. $10,000 in student loan debt. Chuck Schumer wants $50,000. We haven't heard anything in the middle or anything in general in regards to student loan debt, but I'll keep you updated on that. And more news is coming out in regards to a fourth stimulus check. So some are pushing for the $2,000 monthly payments. That's coming from the Progressive Democrats. Still haven't heard anything yet. The filibuster may be removed, which means that the Democrats can pass anything they want, including stimulus checks, until the coronavirus aid is completely done. Let me know down in the comments below, would you agree with monthly stimulus checks until the pandemic is over, or do you think that's too costly? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Nick Murphy asks, I got direct deposit on the last two checks. Shouldn't mine have come on the 17th? As if this message, no indication it's coming. So there's a lot of confusion here. So a lot of people were expecting to get their stimulus check on the 17th, and 90 million people supposedly did. But that isn't the only date that they're sending out direct deposits. If you haven't received it by the 17th, it could come over the next few weeks. If we look at the second stimulus checks were going out for basically almost 2 to 3 weeks. And this is only the first week so far. So it just came out on the 17th. I would say give it a few more weeks. Probably next Wednesday, the 24th, is going to be another direct deposit day where a big wave is going to come out. And there's still a lot of people who are going to receive paper checks. Even if you receive direct deposit the first 2 times around, the IRS said that they could send a paper check or debit card to you, even if you got direct deposits. Next question, Tammy Goulet Schrader asks, I filed my 2020 taxes and did the stimulus recovery thing you talked about in February as soon as the IRS started accepting our taxes, and I'm still waiting, so I will get that money or the So will I ever get that money or the third stimulus package? Yes. So the IRS has reported they have a big backlog of tax returns that they haven't even gotten through yet. So if you filed your rebate recovery credit and you filed for that, I would expect delays. It's probably going to take a while. In terms of the third stimulus check, we still don't know exactly when all of that's going to be given out. The IRS hasn't given payment dates as they have in the past. In the past, they would say the next payment date is the 24th or the 1st or the 2nd or whatever. We haven't gotten that much information yet, but I'll keep you updated on any other dates that the IRS gives. Next question comes from Danielle Wood. The Get My Payment tool states I'm eligible for the payment, but no date for deposit. Thank you for that, Danielle. It seems that people are getting that information as well. Rather than payment status not available, it's saying you're eligible, but we don't know when we're going to pay you. So the Get My Payment tool, or what I like to call the Waste My Time tool. King Brown asks, no, let's talk about Social Security. Let's talk about Direct Express. Let's talk about why people aren't getting their money from the government on Social Security. That is my question. I agree with you. People on Social Security got screwed again. SSI, SSDI are waiting at the back of the line with no information given. I think that's the most frustrating thing. It's one thing to be delayed. It's another thing to be left in the dark and not know when the money is coming. Supposedly it's coming when you get your monthly payments. I think is in the beginning of the month. Let me know down in the comments below. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that should be when the stimulus checks come, according to the articles that I read. Next question. Michelle Ayala asks, my son got his first stimulus in check form. The second was a card. Will his stimulus be put on that same card, or will he get a new card? Great question. So if you receive the EIP debit card, which was the debit card with the stimulus check money on it, that check will not receive any new money. You will get a new card. And if you got direct deposit, you could get the card this time. If you got the card this time, you could get a check or direct deposit this time around. We don't know what's going to happen, but that card that you may have received in the past, you're not going to get any more money on that, so you could discard it. It's not going to receive the third stimulus check. You will get a new card if they decide to give you a card. That is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up after a lot of this negative news. Here is my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I just want to say something just quick for you. I just want to say that be humble and do things that you've always been wanting to do. And the things that you have not been, just leave that behind. And also be grateful what you have.
If you want to keep the positive vibes going, feel in a better mood, I recommend clicking this video over here. It's on my Wise Vibes channel, giving you a lot of wisdom and daily motivation to stay happy, stay in a good mood. So click that video right now and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.